You know, the other day I heard there was a new Disturbed song coming out, and I gotta tell you, I could not be less excited. But why? I freaking love Disturbed. Like, I remember back in the mid-2000s when 10,000 Fists came out, I absolutely had to have this album. I loved every song on the album, and I was so excited for it. And now they got a new song coming out, and I'd be equally excited to hear an albino moose flatulate in my ear. But why? Am I just old now and have lost all my sense of wonder and excitement? Or has music just collectively got stale? And while I think a little both of those are true, I think the main reason is because of this. We have instant access to every song ever made. And because of this instant access, there's no real connection to music anymore. You hear a song you like, you add it to your Spotify playlist, and that's about it. It used to be when you heard a song you liked, you went down to the local CD store or record store, and you bought the album for 15 bucks just to find out that the rest of the album frickin' blows! But you had to have the album because you liked one of their songs. But of course, back then, record stores even had listening pods where you could throw on a pair of headphones and preview an entire new album and decide whether you wanted to buy it or not. Nowadays, sampling is obsolete because you're not actually buying the music. You're just adding it to the playlist like, oh, I think I could skip this song later. Added. And that's another thing, it's just too easy to skip songs now. It's like the whole going through a news feed, you're just like next. It's just like embedded into our brains now. Like back in the day when you're gonna hear me say that a lot this video, but back in the day when you were listening to music, you had to commit to it. Like you couldn't just skip a song. Have you ever fast forwarded a cassette tape to try to find the fourth song in? No, you haven't, and it shows. I've done it many times, and let me tell you, it's easier just to listen to the first 3 songs. People don't listen to an album front to back anymore. Back then, we kinda had to. Then eventually, technology got so good, you could skip songs! What? The only problem is, you know what else skipped? The CD. I remember trying to listen to CDs on the way to school. Buses are kinda bouncy, and every littlest bump, your music would sound like... That's probably where dubstep originated. Oh, but the CD player companies had a solution for that. They came out with anti-skip technology, which did absolutely nothing. You'd be on the bus and the CD still skipped like Jim Bro on leg day. It was a pain in the royal ass! But I remember it. I have fond memories of listening to my CDs. There are just no memories attached to music anymore. Do you think kids growing up now are gonna be in their 30s and 40s being, oh, that one TikTok song that was a minute long? Oh, such good memories. No! Because that connection isn't there. Or maybe they will and I'm just a boomer complaining about everything. Man, I remember when I was a teenager, I would just walk through Sunrise Records, just browsing through the CDs, and I would buy a CD just because I liked the album cover. I'd buy the album just like, well, I hope this album doesn't blow turd sandwiches, but at least the cover is cool. Sometimes this method actually worked. I bought Creature by Within the Ruins just because I liked the album cover. I thought it was cool. I'm like, yeah, that's worth 15 bucks. And then I got into my Cavalier and I threw this baby into my aftermarket CD player, and my mind was blown by this album. It almost blew the autism right out of me. And let me tell you, young people will never know the euphoria of huffing a booklet. Like these CD, my God. You know, young people will never have this. It's not like in 20 years, people are gonna be like, oh, I just have to smell my old playlist again. Oh, it doesn't work like that. I think I just broke my phone. You know, back in the day, the only way to know the lyrics to a song was from the CD booklet. We couldn't just Google the lyrics. So if you were singing a song wrong, you had to commit to it. Whoa! Like there was no way to know the lyrics, so you had to commit to that shit. Man, but these CD booklets had more than just lyrics, man. You were actually introduced to the bands, and you got to read all their thanks. Always thank Jesus first. There was a connection to the band. You knew all the band members' names, except for the bass player. We knew... Think of a newer song on one of your playlists. Name every member of that band. Can you? Yeah, I didn't think so. I can name you every band member of Disturbed. I know the name of every member of Dragon Force. I remember the first time I heard Dragon Force, I, right after, drove right down to Sunrise Records and I bought the album. Here it is, and I busted it out and I've been playing it ever since. I remember hearing this new band Trivium was kind of cool. I was like, that's good enough for me, so I went out and I bought this, and of course I've been hooked ever since. How many brain cells do you guys think I've lost over the years by huffing CD booklets? I even remember buying this album because I'm a Def Leppard fan. You know how many times I've listened to this album? Less than once. Literally never. But I had a connection to the band, so I had to buy the album. I had to pay my $15 so that Def Leppard got richer and so that I could have a paperweight. But then, technology got so advanced, we didn't have to buy CDs anymore. Because we were living in tomorrow, bitches. You could download music on your computer. My program of choice was LimeWire, but there were many variations. But the advantage of these programs was you could not only download a song, but you could also download a virus that would destroy your home computer. Sorry, Mom, but I had to download 51-23 Bon Jovi It's My Life 1.exe. And you know what the best part was? I could download an entire song in just 40 minutes. That's right, a 2 megabyte song took like 45 minutes to download. Now we're playing with technology, bitches. See, I had dial-up back then. Please stop playing that sound, I'm getting really bad PTSD. And our dial-up connection, at best, downloaded at like 2 kilobytes per second. Hey young people, how long did it take to download a song to your playlist? Oh, less than an hour? Yeah. My point is, if you wanted a song back in the day, you had to work for it. It was not easy to download a song. It was so slow. It would fail to download half the time. And even if you were lucky enough for it to fully download, most of the time the song quality was so garbage it sounded like it was coming through toilet water. And you just wasted an hour trying to download one frickin' song. You had to like this song, is what I'm saying. But then after 2 months, you finally had enough songs to burn a CD! And then you wrote all your little song titles on there, and then you'd throw this baby into your Walkman to listen to on the way to school! God, it's no wonder we had a deeper connection to music back then. They were just different times, man. I remember when I was a teenager, if someone came up to me and was like, hey man, there's this new band you should check out, I would have been like, heck yes, I need to check it out, tell me! But now if someone came up to me and was like, hey Steve, there's this new band you should check out, I'd be like, oh, a band? I've never heard of one of them before. Give me a second to count the amount of shits I give. I wouldn't check it out. I literally don't care about anything. I'm old now. I am absolutely convinced that any original idea in music has already been done. There's nothing new that is gonna surprise anyone. A song used to exist so that you could feel something. Nowadays, a song exists just to be the background music of a frickin' cooking video or Gym Bros hitting PRs. There was a time when recording music was a whole frickin' thing. You couldn't do it in 5 seconds on a computer. Back then, artists were writing songs and making albums as a way to express themselves musically or to explore new ideas or new recording methods. Nowadays, artists release music just for the sake of releasing music because that's all we know how to do. Big things coming. And it's not the artist's fault. It's the fault of the times. It's the fault of the technology. There's nothing new or original for artists to do because everything's already been done. Oh my God, this new artist, Billie Eilish, is so edgy and dark. Oh my God, this is so groundbreaking. Yeah. Tell that to every Christian 90s parent that had their teenager exercise because she listened to Marilyn Manson. And I gotta tell you, you wanna know what genre is the most stale of all? Rock music. I mean, rock music has been around for a very long time now. It's just, there's nothing more to do. Just stop.
Stop it. Get some help.
I mean, I could listen to the soothing sounds of rainfall to fall asleep at night, but why when I could just listen to a new rock song and be put to sleep so much quicker? When the Beatles were performing on Ed Sullivan back in the 60s, rock was like kind of a new thing. It was new and fresh. Bill Haley and the Comets, the Beatles, and Chuck Berry were really the first of their kind. Well, I guess Yoko Ono was the first of her kind too. And I gotta ask you something. What the hell happened to music videos? Recently, a song came up on one of my playlists that I actually liked, and I was like, I have to see the music video for this song. This song is frickin' sick. So I went on YouTube to watch the music video, and there was none. Oh, but there was a lyric video. Okay, maybe this is a boomer complaint, but lyric videos are not a substitute for music videos. Sorry. Listen, I come from a time when TV stations literally aired music videos, and you couldn't customize it. If you wanted to see your favorite music video, you literally had to sit there and wait and hope that they played it. You couldn't just jump on YouTube and watch it. Now, Much Music, which was basically MTV for Canada, had this system where you could text in and vote for what music video you wanted to air. And there'd be a little graph at the bottom of the screen showing which songs were getting the most votes. And if enough people voted, they would play your music video, and you just had to hope that you weren't on the toilet taking a massive dumpy doo-doo at the time they aired the music video. Oh, no! I mean, now you can play the music video whenever the hell you want. And somehow that has sucked the fun out of everything. It'd be like if instead of the Easter Bunny hiding your Easter eggs, he just threw them all into a basket and just handed them to you. You'd be like, oh, thanks, that was fun. Half the fun was the anticipation to finally see your favorite music video. It just meant something more when you had to wait for it. Because when your music video finally played on TV, you appreciated it and you cherished that moment because you might not see this music video again for another month. Unless, of course, you were literally recording the TV with your parents' high-definition camcorder. My parents are gonna be so proud of me when one day they wanna rewatch our old family movies and it has been replaced with Shaggy pleading that it wasn't him.
Wasn't me.
Like, this would never happen nowadays. It's impossible. Not only because people don't take family movies anymore, but there's also no musical representation of any type on media anymore. And I'm not talking about YouTube and the 7,000,000,000 streaming sites that are out there. I remember when the WB had a show called Pepsi Smash, where popular bands would come on there and perform in front of a live audience just for the passion of music. Oh, and to sell Pepsi. But the one I will never forget this. The one performance that blew my little mind was Story of the Year. To this day, I have not seen a band come close to the amount of stage presence or exciting stage show as Story of the Year had. But bands had the passion back then, my friend. And there's just nothing like it anymore. Unless you actually went to a live concert, which I can't believe is still a thing. Even Warped Tour is returning, and all these When We Were Young Fest. Clearly, there's now a nostalgic need for us to relive music from our past when the times were just very primitive and not nearly as technologically advanced as they are now, but they were just better somehow. We are aching to hear the sounds and sniff the sniffs of our youth. So now I pose you the question, has music plateaued? I think the only way to evolve musically from here is to devolve. Hence why there's now a resurgence in vinyl and even cassettes. We're just in a confusing time right now. Technology is moving so fast we don't know what to do with it. Every scene, not just the music scene, is so oversaturated. We're just overwhelmed with everything and we don't know where to go from here. Or maybe I'm just a boomer complaining because music isn't the same as it was when I was young. Oh, hold on. Get off my lawn, you damn cat!